I'm with David C. Paul, Director of Economic Development here in Brockville, Ontario. David, over $200 million of development is going on right now in Brockville. What do you attribute that kind of growth spurt in a town of 24,000 people?
Well, we're really promoting and marketing the quality of life, the lifestyle living, having a resort setting every day in the Thousand Islands. We also have implemented a community improvement plan which incents developers, tax waivers, permit waivers, development charge waivers, brownfield development in terms of remediating the soil. So collectively, all those incentives that made it attractive, for condominium developments and waterfront development. We've done a lot of planning. We're building about a $20 million Maritime Discovery Center, which will be a very unique anchor tourist attraction, but have entertainment value to it, and it's very, very unique. It'll be one of the first aquariums in this area between Quebec City and Toronto. So we have a tourism recreational plan as well going through. Cycling is on the upswing, and we're getting people noticing this area as they come through the cycling parts of the area. Our manufacturing has rebounded.
Sorry to interrupt you. Manufacturing is still part of the equation?
Yeah, Brockville is actually one of sort of three main manufacturing hubs in Eastern Ontario. Belleville, Brockville, and Cornwall, actually, particularly in the logistics area for you, and you've had some great announcements. So we have always had a very strong manufacturing base here, and past year, 2010, was the very first year we've seen an upswing in the actual employment. And we've actually seen some expansions and some growth in that area, which has been kind of unsettled and stalled with the economic downturn. But it still is a very major building block and a wealth creation for the community. So it's reassuring when that sector, shows some promise and some opportunity. So yes, that's one other factor as well.
Now, you mentioned condo development. I can't believe how many units you were talking about. It was like 50 here and 30 there. And how many units are in the pipeline right now here?
Well, within 5 years, these are all built out. There's a potential of 600 more people living in the downtown.
Right.
And that was the strategy, essentially, is to have people living downtown, and that in turn will generate interest in the retail and commercial and the upswing of bistros and boutique retail and so on, and create a vitality in the downtown that we're looking for, to create that image and really become a tourism destination as well. So we've used our tourism as a leg to kind of swing our residential relocation, our quality of life attraction, and it's starting to gel a bit. But we have a Tall Ships Landing project in the waterfront, very tall tower, which is next to the Maritime Discovery. Brockville Landings, another condominium, again on the waterfront. Trinity Church development just downtown here as well, and a major development on the fringe, the west end of Brockville.
And your art center recently had an extensive redevelopment. You spent, I think,
yes.
$2 million redevelopment.
I want to take you there, and that is an independent acclaim. Is one of the nicest medium-sized heritage theaters in all of Canada. And you make your own statement when you see it, but it is a $2 million facelift, and we've had entertainers that just can't believe the quality, the ambience of it. It's got the same sound system as Celine Dion's Las Vegas theater. Mm-hmm. It's got seats from the Rockefeller Center in the States. I mean, it's got all the quality, the Trump Tower lamps. You've got to go in it, and you'll feel the ambience of it.
Now, Mr. Kassman was telling me that was a true partnership and that the community raised $1.2 million, and then you had approximately $800,000 in grants, and then the city spearheaded it and did some stuff. How were you able to achieve that kind of success of working together so closely with people for an art center?
Brockville is a very unique area, and there's several examples in terms of the giving. And there's a little chain reaction going on here with some projects. And it's quite a unique best practice study. The Art Center, the very first one that did that. I can also show you later on today the Rotary Park, another $1.1 million project already financed, and it started earlier this year. And it's got a splash pad, synthetic ice surface, basketball courts, kids, a bridge, and it's all happened within a few months. And it was primarily the givings of the community and a couple of well-heeled people that have some money they want to donate. Mm-hmm. Very small amount, actually, from, in this case, governments. So it was the community. But we can go back to the ice storm, the hospital fundraising, the YMCA. Major amounts of money are being raised. And then when the professional fundraisers come in, they say, well, you're only 24,000 people, a small community, Eastern Ontario. That's a pretty stiff amount of money you want to raise. And then we surpass the amount and they just shake their heads. So there is something about the giving in this community, and it really comes to fruition when you have some of these drives going on.
Now, we also talked about a little bit before that most of the growth in population, you referred to them as Zoomers.
Yes. We have a very high percentage of people over 60 because, again, the lifestyle. It's just the right size of community. It's 8% over the national average. In fact, this part of Ontario is much more like that. So now we're seeing with these new investments, primarily from Ottawa, Gatineau, Montreal, outside the area, that there is a new breed of, we call them Zoomers, people over 45, 50 coming in. Quite a bit of investment they've accumulated over the year, and not ready to totally retire, but want to relocate back here. Some are compatriots that have gone maybe to Los Angeles and want to come back to their roots, like I did, but I didn't bring millions with me. But we're seeing a bit of that, and in tracking the origin of where the buyers are coming from, it's a unique kind of a blend here. So this is a very positive thing for Brockville.
Now, what about younger families? How do you attract younger people to towns? Because that's something I think a lot of towns in Eastern Ontario or smaller cities have, which is retaining young people and attracting young people.
It's the most common weakness of small town Ontario, Canada, and it's a problem consistent right through the country. The way we're doing it is through immigration. And we never had an immigration platform on our economic development portfolio ever before. It all started about 3 years ago when we were selected by the Ontario government to be one of 3 centres in Ontario to test this immigration initiative in rural areas, more the welcoming in the settlement. So North Bay, Chatham, Kent, and Brockville were part of this. So we have got the afterburners on and are really promoting, because what the immigration card does, it brings in the younger families. It brings in families that are fairly skilled trades. We need that as well. So it's starting to balance our demographic imbalance. And 8% of our population in this region, Leeds and Grenville and Brockville, are immigrants now.
So roughly how many people does that translate to in that period of time that would have immigrated to Brockville?
Don't know the exact number of the change, but we have about 8,000 or 9,000 immigrants in this particular region around Brockville.
And how many people would the region roughly include?
That's 100,000.
Okay.
So there's your 8%.
Yeah.
But we're seeing an escalation of that, double what our native-born Canadians are producing. We're also seeing many of these immigrants bringing investments and actually making more than our native-born Canadians after a short term. You know, they're taking a lot of courage to come here, and they're hard-working people, and there's some very positive results. So that is on our radar screen big time.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll talk a little bit more soon.
Wonderful.